Hey guys, it's Catherine, and unlike most of the days I come to you guys, it is Wednesday. And that's because me and Kip have decided to switch places. Well, actually, I decided that me and Kip should switch places, but you get what I mean. um, so basically, I switched places for plenty of reasons. It's been really hard for me to upload videos on this channel for the past couple of weeks. Um, YouTube has this thing where if you guys log in from a bunch of different locations, it thinks that someone is, trying to illegally get into your shit, and so because of that, they, turn off your, they limit the access, that people can have from certain computers, and ironically, even though I started the channel on my computer, I can no longer log in on my computer. So the only way for me to do it is if I upload things through ScreenFlow, or if I take it to the school computers and upload it that way. And that's just one big headache. So you know. But anyway, and obviously, if you haven't noticed, which if you haven't noticed, you're kind of stupid. But this is an audio only. This is an audio only video, and if you're on my channel, if you watch my channel, you know that I kind of recently made the decision to only make audio videos because I'm starting to get very paranoid about how YouTube could possibly could possibly affect my um, life, and also my professional life, and it's honestly just mostly professional life because I don't want to get in a situation where my YouTube becomes the deciding factor in whether or not I'm gonna get hired somewhere. Do you know what I mean? It's like, as much as I love YouTube, as much as YouTube is like amazing and great, and it's really helped me in my transition and everything, it's not worth it. But I still want to be on here and giving people advice and sharing my story and things like that. So I'm gonna still be on here, but just not visibly. What I'm gonna do on this channel is I'm gonna make all of the videos on this channel with me in them. I'm going to make them unlisted. So if you've commented on them, if you've gotten an email saying that I've uploaded it, you can still see the video, but it's not going to be open to the public. So, yeah. I'm trying to think. I think that's pretty much all I have to say as far as announcements go. So I guess we can move on to the topic. Now I've already made this video once, and it kind of, I don't know. As I started giving advice, it just started getting more and more convoluted. And, honestly, a lot of times when I make videos, I make them more than once, which, sucks up my time and my day. But, I'd rather put out something concise than something that is confusing even to me. So, yeah. I'm like doing my hair as I'm talking on this thing, so bear with me. Anyway, so the subject of this week was we were actually supposed to do this topic the week of Valentine's Day. And I actually had already made this video too that week, but things change and my perspective has changed. Things in my life have changed recently, so it is what it is. So I'm gonna have a couple of tips, and some of the things I say, I'm already sure are going to, in a lot of ways, contradict themselves. But bear with me because even if they may slightly contradict themselves, they're both very, very valid points. And before I dive into the subject, I want to say, this video is for people who are interested in dating trans women. This isn't, if you're interested in talking to, fucking, any of that type of stuff, this is not a video for you. And, I've made dating videos before, and I have a tendency to make a lot of generalizations in videos, especially on this subject. And, I always have some guy at some point being like, oh no, fuck you, not all girls are like that. And, while that's probably very, very true, I honestly don't give a flying fuck. So, it is what it is. Anyway, so I would say the best thing that you can do, as far as dating a trans girl goes, is have experience. I've never gone along with a guy who didn't have any experience as far as dating, going out with, sleeping with, etc., a trans woman. Because I find a lot of the times with guys, especially with guys, I don't know if the same as with girls and female to males, but a lot of times guys, they need time to process this. They need time to process the whole trans thing. It might be something that in their mind turns them on and they're totally willing to do. And, they may say one thing to themselves, but once it actually happens, they have to go through this crazy, like, oh fuck, what does this mean about me? Da 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 da. And, that kind of brings to something that I said in previous videos on the Trans Youth channel, is that when it comes to dating, most of the times when it doesn't work, the guy hasn't accepted that while I'm going through a transition, he also needs to go through one. And when I say that, I mean that, we're not taught from a young age about trans people. I mean, unless you're from a very progressive family, generally we're not taught about that shit. So it's hard for some of us to actually come to terms with it. And you have to kind of have time to process that. And I completely understand that. I've been accepting of that. I don't actually give time to men who don't have experience because, it's just, in my life, I've experienced a lot of guys. I get asked about a lot of guys who've never been out with trans girls, and even if we don't even have sex, it's all about them having an experience. It's all about them, wanting to see what it's like. And while I completely understand that, it's really unfair. It's really unfair to me to, basically use me to understand yourself. But in a way that's necessary. In a way that's absolutely necessary when a guy is wanting to seriously date a trans woman. Because, I know that there have been plenty of situations in my life where men have made mistakes with me. And I refuse to go out with them anymore because of it, but I tell them, hey, but you know what? Like, next time you try to go out with a trans girl, do this, do this, and do that. So, again, this is like kind of where I started talking about it's going to be contradictory because, I don't know. I contradict myself a lot. I'm a walking contradiction, so it's like, it's very easy for me to contradict myself. But, point of tip 1 is, have experience. I feel like if you not only have experience, but also take time to digest what it actually is, because I think then and only then are you really going to be able to be prepared to date a trans woman, So, yeah. And kind of encompassing that, tip number 2 would be that, while there's a lot of traits, obviously, that me and a cisgendered woman share, we aren't completely the same. And I find a lot of times when we don't get along, it's with a guy, it's because they don't understand something about transition. They don't understand, all of the little intricacies that we go through as far as, hormones and our legal changes and things like that, So I think it really requires patience. If you want to date a trans girl, most of the times you're going to have to just be patient. And not only patient, but forgiving. Because, I've had plenty of situations where I completely flip out on a guy because of something that they said or did. And if I back away from the situation and I really look at it, I realize that it was pretty much a hormone-induced, piss fest. I got that upset probably because it was annoying to me, but also just because I was on my bones and you really needed to give me my space. at that particular moment. And, you know, you have to kind of be patient and then understand that that's kind of what happens sometimes with us, is we sometimes get a little riled up, um, because of hormones. Um, Also, like, I remember, for instance, there was a time in my life where guys didn't want to go out with me. This was all pre-hormones and things like that. Where guys were attracted to me, but they didn't want to go out with me until I actually was on hormones. Which is kind of silly because, I mean, I was already extremely feminine pre-transition. But it's silly because it's like, that's just one of those things that really doesn't define you, you know. Because I think their whole thing was, if you're not on hormones, you're not really a girl, and that's not true, it's just not, how you identify definitely has very little to do with what the fuck you put inside of your body. So yeah. Oh, my hair looks so good right now. I'm really happy about it. Trying to straighten out this fucking wig, talking about it's my hair. What was I gonna say? So yeah, patience. Have patience and understand that, it's not just our transition, it's yours as well. And you have to sort of, you have to get that experience, but, I don't know. Again, contradictions. Guys need to get experience, but B, I think, don't expect to seriously date or pursue dating unless you have experience, because, and this is, I guess, is tip 3 or 4, because a lot of us are very, very bitter. We're very jaded. We've been there. We've done that. Men have hurt us. I've kind of prevented myself from completely going in that direction, but I've recognized that a lot of the times I, am very unforgiving with men because of past experiences. And sometimes guys aren't willing to be patient for that. They'll say, "Oh, I'm not like that." I mean, I've heard it so many times. "Oh, I'm not like that. Oh, you know, don't judge me because of things that happened with other guys." Da 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 da. And then, it all ends up the same. You know. So I don't know. I feel like if you really are interested in dating a trans girl, you have to you have to accept that you're gonna have to supersede any past shit that she's gone through. You've got to be better than, you've got to be the best, because why else would they want to date you? If you're just like the rest. Because, I mean, honestly, I guess maybe this is my situation, but because of where I live and things like that, there are a lot of guys that are interested. There are more guys that are interested than there are girls. And because of that, you have to kind of, I think you should keep in mind that, we've gone out. A lot of us have gone out on a lot of dates. A lot of us have seen a lot of shit from guys. A lot of us have dealt with a lot of shit from guys. So, while being with us is new to you, being with you isn't necessarily new to us. So, food for thought. um, where are we at as far as time is concerned? Ooh, 14 minutes. I can't completely think of anything else. Biggest advice is have experience. I guess the last one would be, I know I just said you should you should try to. We're not completely like cisgendered girls, but you should treat us that way. Regardless of, you should always keep in mind that we're not totally, and that there are gonna be things that we're gonna react to that cisgendered women wouldn't. But at the same time, still treat us the same as you would any other girl that you would take out. And I guess those are my tips for cisgendered people who want to date trans people. So on that note, I'm going to get the fuck off. Bye, guys.